All right, guys, it's the Horror Junkies of Utah coming at you with a Walking Dead season finale talk slash we're going to just kind of talk about episodes as well and like TV series and cliffhangers and all sorts of stuff. I have Craig and Alex as well is Skyping us and we're capturing his video over there and us over here, so it's all going to be melded together just for you guys. So who wants to start us off on their thoughts of this ending? Craig, let's hear your thoughts because me and Alex already expressed ours.
Seeing Negan up on screen was amazing. The rest of the episode was not so much. You know, they got the whole subplot with Carol and Morgan, which goes absolutely nowhere, which is really boring. And then just the whole episode wasn't great until like the last 10 minutes when you saw Negan. And I absolutely loved him. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is amazing. He totally blew that one out of the water, just knocked it out of the park. Amazing Negan. And then the cliffhanger, like a lot of people, it kind of made me angry.
Made you angry. And Alex and myself, we have our opinions on our Walking Dead podcast. But real quick, Alex, just share a quick little opinion if people haven't listened to that podcast.
Well, I think my opinion, I don't think it's changed, but the main reason I wanted to have this discussion with you guys was it gives us good time to reflect on it. I think a lot of people reacted emotionally. If you took the episode in a vacuum and it was just the episode, it was just the show. There was no comic book, and the cast shut the fuck up about it, and the writers shut the fuck up about it. It was an awesome, awesome finale. If you remember when they break in and save Carol and Maggie, and the guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm Negan, what's up?" And Rick just shoots him. If there was no comic and no one writing about how Negan's coming, you'd be like, "Oh shit, they killed Negan. Rad, he's toast as fuck." And then at the end, it's like, oh, that was just some random dude. Negan's still here. He's still kicking ass. We thought we were safe. These guys were hurting our survivors, and now Negan's still here. The danger is more real than it's ever been. Oh, fuck. The finale is he's alive and he's killed someone. You're just like, oh, my God, this a whole bunch of information at once. But we knew all that. We knew that wasn't him. And we knew that they were, this ending's going to be so scary, you'll make you throw up, and you'll be dead for weeks inside. Because one of your favorite cast members is dead!
Yeah.
And they just,
that's another reason I hate it, is they do this every single season with every single finale. They always hype it up. Oh, it's the best episode we've ever made.
Not true. So, like, season 1, they didn't do that. When the CDC comes crumbling down, we talked about this, but that would have been the case in season 1 if they would have hyped it up all the way to we're blowing you up in the CDC building and then they didn't get out. It wasn't a cliffhanger like that. There was closure in season 1, I think.
I didn't say that was the only one that...
No, you said they do that in every season.
Where they hype it up. I didn't say they do a cliffhanger every season. I said they always hype up the season finale and then it never pays off.
I think it's recent problem because I think we also discussed in season 2 there's no cliffhanger ending unless you say the prison is a cliffhanger ending, but we got resolution. They got off the farm, we found out the secret that Rick was keeping from everybody. So we got that resolution, but they kept us engaged by saying this part is over, but in essence it's really just beginning. So you get closure on one chapter and then a new one opens up.
Well, and that's what I'm
with the Terminus thing. They get captured. How are they get to Terminus? How are they going to get out? Oh.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Now, what season do you think they started introducing this idea of what my idea is that they have put this thing in there which is cliffhangers and suspense and then leave you hanging. So you want more and you come back next season. When do you guys think they actually started doing that? Would you say season 3?
Yeah, I would say I think they started messing around with it on season 3. And it's just because we said it before, I love the governor, but that was a really kind of a cop-out.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the story had gone, he's on his own. Like if it had gone on a little bit longer, and we found out the governor was just basically on the own with his other 2 or 3 buddies, and we got a little bit more into there, that would be fine. Because now we're saying, okay, the governor attacked. The people didn't want to do it. He killed everybody, and now he's on his own. What the fuck is he going to do? Our draw is, we know he wants Rick dead. What's he going to do to regroup with just his 2 friends? But instead, we got the governor freaked out, killed somebody, and one girl was hiding under a dead body.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it just kind of goes from there. And I love that plotline. I love that story. And then post hoc, you can kind of see it where they were coming from. But I think that's really where like, we can kind of cop out, give these bullshit kind of endings. People will still watch.
True. So,
Right.
a lot of people on this episode and this season finale have expressed love and hate. And I think we're getting a lot more hate on this season finale than love. What are your guys' opinions with that in reading what other people are posting? Do you think it's fair that the fans are upset?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they took the most iconic moment from the comic books and they just kind of shit all over it, for lack of better terms, you know. I mean, they still could have shown who he killed and then left that and, you know, made you hate Negan and then kind of leave you hanging as like, oh, what's going to happen next? We're going to find out more about Negan. That's still a good ending, you know. That's still a good cliffhanger type ending, you know what I mean?
It's a cliffhanger with that resolution where lately they just don't provide that. They're just like, ha ha, you'll be back in October, assholes.
But waiting 7 months, the emotional, it won't be there. It won't be as strong.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
No, not at all. What about you, Alex?
I've been trying to find stuff to compare it to, and I agree with a lot of what Craig is talking about. And another kind of comic book thing is I have been getting into watching Daredevil on Netflix. I don't really care for the character Daredevil, but the Punisher's in it, who is one of my favorite characters ever.
Shane from The Walking Dead.
And, yep, it's John Barenthal. Anyway, when they first introduced the Punisher, you don't see him. Like, the season opens up, and there's just a bunch of guys talking about how they're going to get rich and whatever. We're the Irish Mafia! And then they just get blown away. Walls are being shot in, guys, blood, just stuff flying. And you don't see what happened. You're just like, oh shit, something serious just fucking went down. And then one of the guys escapes, he's in the hospital, and you just see this guy walking, and he's got a big badass shotgun. You don't ever see his face. He's just shooting people up. You're just like, oh, fuck. Means fucking business. Then you never see him until the last 10 or 15 seconds when the Daredevil's like, I'm going to beat you up. And he rolls over and you see his face and he has a gun in his hand. He says, bang. And he shoots the Daredevil guy and he goes, blah, blah. That's awesome. That gets me wanting to watch more. We found out who this is. We know who this bad guy is. He's done something. He's actually carried out an action. We've seen it, and I want more. And it's not because I have questions about what happened. My question is what's going to happen next. Yeah. And that's a good cliffhanger ending. And that show isn't that good. I mean, it's decent. It's not something I'm like, oh, I'm gripped to this. This changes the way I feel about everything. But they did such a great way of introducing a character, giving me resolution, and making me want more. And like Craig was saying, you can do that with Negan. You could show him killing somebody in the group, and you could hate him even more and want to know what's going to happen next. Instead of, the question should not be who died, it should be what's going to happen next. And I think that's the big downfall.
And
that's why people are pissed.
We all know that this is going to be happening now, the fan theories. It's already out there, and it's going to be fan theories for the next 7 months. Do you guys have any theories, or do you think just, screw that crap, fan theories? Because there's already YouTube video after
Hundreds
YouTube video,
them.
Just, this is who
Oh, look at the direction of the tree, and all this stuff.
I mean, what do you guys think about, they did create a huge streaming YouTube sensation.
Supposedly not even the cast and crew know, because they haven't even filmed that
I don't
yet.
believe that. I think that's a cop-out, because you have contracts and you can't just tell your your people, we'll let you know in October. You know.
Exactly. Well, they'll start filming season 7 here in the next month or so.
Soon, true.
Yeah,
but you would think they would give your cast a little bit more headway,
Yeah, they got scheduling conflicts with other stuff. They got to know if they're going to be on the season 7 or not.
True.
So yeah, I guess that's true. But
Alex,
I have a theory, but it doesn't go with who died. So I'll bounce it off you guys.
Okay, let's hear this theory.
I think that they are testing the waters. Part of me agrees that they don't know who died, or that they know who died, like you guys said. But at the same time, I think they're judging the fan reaction. They wanted to see what would happen, what would make people mad, what would make people say, okay, this will get me hooked again. That they are playing it off as, oh, who died? We don't know. Oh, it's a mystery to everybody. When in reality, it's, let's see what we can get away with. And come to the decision afterwards. So we don't piss off the fan base, or we really upset the fan base, but in a way that they like.
One fan theory that I am particularly interested in, which I think is possibly true, it's the whole fan theory of the first person perspective. Like there's like 2 or 3 shots in like the beginning, middle, and towards the end of the episode where you see a first person perspective of one of the people in the van. You know what I'm talking about? It's Sasha, Daryl, Glenn, and Michonne. So they're thinking that these first-person perspectives of the van is the same person at the end who gets their head bashed in.
I could see that, but I really like Alex's theory here where he's saying they're testing the waters and they can read Facebook reactions, YouTube videos, go through comments and see what's going to make our fans really angry and hate our show, and what's going to make our fans angry but wanting more. And is it safe for us to kill a main character now? Because I think with The Walking Dead, they're very afraid to kill main characters. They don't do it.
They don't have a spine.
They need to get one, because me as a viewer, if they don't kill someone off that I have an emotional connection to, I'm kind of like done. I'm like, really?
That's what makes Negan's entrance so strong, is he kills out in the comics, he kills off a big character, and then you just immediately hate him, and it just really grips you and pulls you into the story and the character. And so they gotta kill.
But as we all know, they don't follow the comic book. Mm-hmm. They do, but they do make changes.
So,
especially with character deaths.
I could see them like taking the easy route and killing someone we don't care about, like Aaron or something like that.
Yes,
that's very possible.
And what I loved this, there was a fan video that actually Craig shared with me and Alex, and it's used all the time. It's that Hitler video where Hitler's very angry.
The Hitler reaction.
I'm trying to think of what movie it's actually from. I think it's called
Downfall.
Yeah, it's Downfall. I've seen it, so I know what Hitler's actually talking about. But in this, it's replaced with subtitles, and it's really cool because the points they make in that YouTube video are so excellent. And I love one of them. Hitler's like, we're just going to get there and they're all going to magically disappear under dumpsters again.
And then Negan's just been hitting Nicholas's dead body.
But, it's videos like that I really enjoy, where fans are actually showing and catching on. People are starting to catch on to kind of The Walking Dead's bullshit that they're pulling all the time.
Yeah, I like the point they brought up about the whole Denise episode. He's like, we got an entire episode developing Denise for someone we don't even care about her, and for her just to die at the end.
At the very end of the episode. And they do that with characters, and it's almost like if they take a character that we know isn't a major character, but they start to develop a storyline on them, then it's like, you're getting axed. If it's not one of our main core group. But and people are catching on to this. So I think The Walking Dead, in my opinion, is becoming structurally predictable. Mm-hmm. Would you guys agree?
Especially with all the foreshadowing that they do.
One of the things that video brings up that I wanted to ask you guys about, the video states the last major character to die, is Shane. And I was wondering if you guys agreed with that or not. Because a lot of people...
I'd say Herschel.
But the thing with Herschel is Herschel in the show represented the best in everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good side of hell. He basically replaced Dale. Dale died and we got Herschel. Then Herschel died and we got Tyrese. Tyrese died and we got
Bob.
Gabriel. Gabriel decided he's going to be the savior for everybody. And then was like, nah, fuck this. I got guns. Fuck everybody. And we got Morgan back. So Morgan is just Herschel.
So like a regurgitated character style that's
like their
being replaced by one. Once one goes, another one is just replaced. Right. But other than that, like major characters would be Shane. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Like with Shane, he represented someone within the group turning against the group, which we haven't had anyone like that in Rick's group. I mean, who in Rick's group has turned to the point that they had to be killed because they had become such a problem and created such a divide?
The only one I think would have come close was Carol when she was doing what now Rick agrees to be right, but when she was killing people in the prison that were sick. But even she didn't get to that point of, I gotta kill you type thing. Right. But I think that video brings up something else that's very spot on, and that's that Rick's almost becoming Shane all over again. He's losing his marbles, and well, he almost is Shane. I mean, you think about it.
You know, that reminds me of, I watched the Talking Dead episode for the finale.
Oh, you watch those?
Sometimes. Robert Kirkman and Scott Gimple, you know, the two big producers, obviously, they were on it. Kirkman said kind of interesting. He's like, so if you didn't know anything about the comics, and you had just barely started watching The Walking Dead with like season 5, season 6, you would think that Rick and his people, there are bad people with all the stuff they've been doing, like killing all these saviors, all the stuff they've been doing. I thought that was kind of interesting. And it just kind of plays into what you said about how Rick's kind of like Shane now.
Yeah, like what really is the difference between Rick's group and any of our other groups? They're just survivors now with almost no sense of compassion for anyone. And that's what they had in the beginning of this TV series. And now they're almost just like saviors, just without the huge army.
Yeah, they'll do anything, whatever it takes, you know,
to get what they need and what they want.
So I have another question for you guys. So to take the other side, the people who are defending, especially the writers and the staff, what obligation do you think the writers, creators, cast, everybody, what's their obligation to their audience? What do they need to do to make a good show for people to watch? Because, I mean, a lot of people, you have so many people are defending the finale as much as hate it. You get a lot of people saying that it's very tense, people feeling trapped. The episode was amazing, very scary, and like Craig hinted on and talked about, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is awesome. He fucking so good in this role. But what's their obligation to their viewers? That's kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk about. What do they owe us?
They need to stop caring about AMC's pocketbooks as much, in my opinion, and just produce good video that AMC can be happy with. But I think that this TV series, I mean, obviously we got producers, and then we got the big producer of it is AMC. Like, they own the rights pretty much. And I think sometimes that they might allow people that are not even involved with the actual creation and writing to influence them too much. But at that same token, you know, as long as they're entertaining people, what do they really owe the audience? I mean, it's not like sometimes I think us as the audience, we can get carried away and feel too entitled. Like, how dare you? Like, I just finished a book, now that you're talking about this, entitled Misery by Stephen King, and it touches on that a lot. And Stephen King got a lot of inspiration for the book because he wrote a short novella entitled Red Dragon, I believe. And his fan base went nuts and hated him for it because that's not enough horror. So not only, it's not, the question, I get what you're saying, is like, what do we think they owe us, correct? But it's like, I mean, when do we just need to let creators create and not be so like, you need to do it my way?
Yeah, exactly. He pretty much said what I was thinking. You kind of hit the nail on the head.
I mean, I hate to say it, here I am bitching about the ending, but at the same time, I got to think, like, as a creator ourselves, I mean, you like that freedom. I just think sometimes AMC's big influence comes in a little too strong. Mm-hmm. What about you, Alex?
Well, I was going to follow that up with, do you think it's more the comic book fans who are upset, or do you think it's just the fans in general?
Well, because I'm not a huge reader of the comic books. I get most of my comic book information from YouTube. But I just get upset with the way I see things done with the episode with so much filler to equal out to a ending that didn't have a conclusion.
The comic books have a lot of filler, too.
Oh, I believe it. That's an interesting little question. I mean, we could talk about this one for probably hours. What do the creators owe to the viewers, and what do the viewers owe to the creators?
But yeah, as opposed to comic book fans and fans of the show, I think both sides have people who are mad and liked it. I think it's pretty even.
And I think that's where they get a bad rap. I mean, for lack of a better term, this is art. And that's a whole other discussion. But we often think of musicians and write whatever you want, write what feels good. You know what I mean? It's an expression of you. You are expressing your thoughts and feelings. And it's weird that we hold this separate standard for this show. Why does Kirkman and all of his buddies, why do they have to write something for us? Why aren't they writing something for themselves? If they enjoy it, they're going to keep, they're doing it because they enjoy it. I don't think Robert Kirkman works on the show and on the comics because he hates it and feels obligated to do it, or else he'd just end it. And so it's very weird that like Marcus said, you have to entertain me the way I want to be entertained. And they said, they expected this kind of backlash. And yeah, and at the same time, like you said, are they writing for themselves or are they writing for AMC? Because AMC wants all those viewers that they can get.
They very much so. But then here's another thing I just want to touch on real quick then. When is it our responsibility as a viewer to just say, I don't enjoy this show anymore, I'm not going to watch it? I mean, and just walk away. But I haven't walked away. As much as I say I hate it, I keep watching it. Like, at times I'm like, screw this episode's so bad, but I'm still doing it.
They must be doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So, I mean...
Well, it'll be really interesting to see how people react. Before we started recording this, I told you that I threw all the numbers into my stat software, and I think the only one anyone's going to care about, if you want to talk about standard deviations and all sorts of other stats terms, we can do that later. But the average rating for Walking Dead episode on IMDb is 8.5 as of today. This episode is a 5.8. It's what we call an outlier, and it's not representative of the entire show at all. I think the second lowest was 7.6 out of 10. So it's almost 2 full points, whenever you want to define it, under the second lowest rated episode. And are people really going to stop watching this because 1 out of 80 plus episodes was terrible?
Nope.
And like you said, at what point do people say, I've had enough of the show, I can't do it anymore. Fuck the show, see you later. Does it take one bad episode? Does it take a handful of bad episodes?
Or does it take a whole bad season?
Yeah. And what's weird is this season had some of the highest rated episodes. A lot of...
The Easton, or not Easton episode, what's his name? That trained Morgan.
That's Eastman.
Eastman? Was it Eastman? Okay, yeah. John Carroll Lynch or whatever that's the actor's name. Yeah, that episode, and that was mentioned in the YouTube video, was it? Or was this a meme that I had seen?
Yep. It was mentioned in there.
Where they're like, this episode was so terrible, but still remember the Eastman episode was so good.
Episode.
And I think another thing that we get to see that's kind of cool about the show is we have different writers for different episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to see different styles as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, some people might like the style of writing and direction that one person does over another, and we get different directors and all sorts of kind of horrific elements melded into one, and that may be a reason that there's some episodes that I absolutely enjoy, and then some episodes that I'm just like, oh, why do I still watch this show?
It makes sense.
So my last question for you guys kind of dates back to the question I asked before about, Shane being the last big character, like it's mentioned in that video. He's the last big character to be killed off. What character would have to die for you guys to be back on board? Or characters, I guess, if you have more than one. But who would have to be killed by Negan to be such a big game changer that you're thinking is, all right, it was worth it. It was worth the wait. I'm back on.
I can tell you what characters are going to make me go off board. That would be easier for me. And that's if Abraham's killed. That really just upsets me. That's a cop-out to me. Eugene as well. And who else was in that line?
Aaron.
Aaron, yeah, Aaron.
Rosita.
And
probably Rosita, too.
So those four, for me. If they kill anyone else, like if they kill Carl, if they kill Maggie, if they're not going to kill Rick, but if they killed Rick, or any of our other core main characters, I love it. Yeah. And I'll let the cliffhanger suspense thing that made me a little upset kind of go. But if we come back and it opens up with, take that, Abraham, you're dead, I'm going to be like, what?
It was possible. It's possible because Abraham has been getting a lot of development this second half of the season, so it's possible they were building up to that so you could feel more sorry about him passing.
I still wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Not like it's not. It might make an emotional impact like a pinprick to me. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you killed Carl, I'd be like, whoa, or Glenn or Maggie. Mm-hmm. Abraham's like, eh.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the exact same way as him. It's got to be some of the big main
wigs,
people.
Right?
Yeah.
And Alex?
I have two.
Who is it?
If they killed Carl or Maggie, I would be back on board, no questions asked.
Ooh.
Good.
Everyone else to me is basically a cop-out. We've grown far apart from Michonne because her only development
has been her love triangle. Well, not love triangle, but...
Yeah, is that she loves Rick. Rick's not going to die, so that's not even on the board for me. And Daryl's become such an uninteresting character.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot Daryl was even in that mix, because you're right.
He hasn't changed at all, since season 3.
And like you said, with everybody else, take him or leave him. But killing Carl would be insane, and I would love to see what the show does with that. Killing Maggie would be another one of those that I wouldn't see coming. It would just blow my fucking mind because now he's killing 2 people and just ruining the hope of a lot of people in the team. Team Rick.
Yeah,
and
that would make it
that
interesting.
Would be such a ballsy move.
Yeah,
that I watch. And then if I have to take a third pick, it would be Daryl, but that's just because I want to see everyone freak out on social media.
Daryl would be great. Not that any of us really care for Daryl anymore, but there's that whole fan club of him.
All girls.
Yeah, it's all your single middle-aged women that love Daryl. Well, any last words on this conversation?
If I have to kick it off, it's that it's really hard for people to take in what the show is supposed to be without these third-party things coming in, without this prior information that we already have. And it's easy to forget that this is a show that's art like anything else that we've talked about. And we have to really consider, is the audience, are they writing this for me? Are they writing it for themselves? Or are they writing it to get their paychecks from AMC? we wish it was so cut and dry, and I think it speaks to how attached people are to the show, that they feel like the show owes them. It's not fair, but it just shows how it's such this big thing in our lexicon now that The Walking Dead is bigger than Jesus right now.
It is, and I think if I was to say anything, The Walking Dead is owed a lot of credit, but also a lot of hate from me as well, because it has taken a genre of horror and made it okay to do TV series out of it that develop. I mean, I think The Walking Dead was the first one, then American Horror Story, and then, we got all these spin-offs now, and we had a big break from that in the 90s and the early 2000s till The Walking Dead, I think, because you have the old Tales from the Crypt, stuff like that. But they've made it okay to make horror a TV series again, which I enjoy, because there are horror TV series that I love, but then it's almost like any studio is willing to grab stuff too, like MTV. We got Scream stars, we get the Evil Dead, everyone wants their own little Walking Dead. And then they did a terrible spin-off, Fear the Walking Dead, that is just plain filler for the whole summer. If you guys haven't seen the first episode of season 2, it was god-awful.
Nope, I have no interest.
So there's my little tidbit to end it.
What I would add to that, I don't want to cut you off, Craig, is like you said, the show pushed the envelope. And I feel like we want more of that, and they don't give it to us. There are things on the show that if you had told me 10 years ago this would be on TV, on the AMC, basic cable, I'd tell you no. If you're going to tell me I'm going to watch a show where a kid gets stabbed through the eye, if you're going to tell me there's a show where people have to choose between dying comfortably or dying in the long run, which is like the season finale of season 1, or a show where we watch a guy get his head cut off in this big standoff, I would say I don't know, maybe. Or like the beginning of season, is it 6 with Terminus?
5.
That's season 5. Where we see, like, it's no big deal. We just see people getting hit in the back of the head with a hammer and then their throat slit. That was fucking, oh my god, that was so hard to watch. That was fucking crazy. And they just played it off like it was no big thing. So I think the show was like, hey, we're going to push the envelope. And then in the parts we're like, okay, we're ready. Push that envelope further. It's like, we'll leave it there. Let's keep it.
It's funny that they can show stuff like that, but they won't let Negan say his famous F-bombs that he's most famous for.
You just need to
There's
watch.
a whole other rant. Like, are they... It's like they knew already what they were going to get people for on the DVDs and the Blu-rays. That's a whole other conversation of...
Hey now, Better Call Saul dropped an F-bomb.
What's that?
Better Call Saul drops an F-bomb. That's on AMC.
Yeah, and the deal with Vince Gilligan is you get one F-bomb a season.
Is that what it is?
Breaking Bad had one fuck a season as well.
Dang.
But,
anyways.
that's the whole recording stuff for the DVD before you even finish the season. Is like, yeah, we're going to film this part just for the Blu-ray and the DVD extras.
Yeah.
Buy it! Sorry, Craig. I don't want to
for your special features. What about you, Craig?
Despite everything I've said, I think season 6, despite a couple bad filler episodes, I think for the most part season 6 was fantastic. Probably my favorite one since season 3. It had a lot of cool stuff in it, and I'm really excited for what's to come in season 7. I hope they kind of push the envelope more and start to go back to their roots and don't hold back on anything. They just keep going and going and going.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah, who knows?
October. All right. Well, I am Marcus.
I'm Craig.
And we have Alex over there.
And we have Lucille.
Yes, Lucille. They did do a good job on that bat, I'll tell you what.
She was beautiful.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed our little tidbit of talking about the whole Walking Dead ending and what everyone feels of this episode and season. So check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a like up and give us a thumbs up, and go like us on Facebook and let us know what you think of the season 6 finale, or in general anything about The Walking Dead that's going on right now. I am Marcus, and I have these two, like I said. You guys have a wonderful night. See you later.